Have you ever woken up with a weight on your chest? Not heavy enough to crush you, just enough to remind you it's there. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's ADHD. Maybe it's just the slow unraveling of the to-do lists you never agreed to do. You're not a mess. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're living in a world that was never designed for your kind of brain. Visualize a coffee shop. A young woman stares at her laptop. Her fingers hover, then pause, then retreat. Lena, we'll call her Lena. Yeah, Lena works. Rehearses conversations in her head. Not just important ones, every single one. Ordering coffee, texting a friend, saying no. She's not shy, she's anxious. There's a difference. Then let's think of another guy. We'll go with Derek. He's scrolling through his chaotic inbox. He opens a message, starts typing, then gets up and forgets why. Derek teaches, but sometimes he forgets what he just said. His brain is a browser with too many tabs open. Some people call it distraction. Others call it ADHD. It doesn't matter. He just wants to remember his son's baseball game. Both of those kind of describe me and some of the people I know. And for the longest time, I thought I was broken. Then I got a diagnosis. A diagnosis is not a cure. It's a mirror. Kind of see what's going on. Getting a name for your experience isn't about fixing it. It's about finally seeing it clearly. You have anxiety. You have ADHD. These aren't verdicts. They're starting points. Let's just say Maya read the book and she cried. Not because she was sad, but because someone had finally described her brain accurately. That was me the day I met with my therapist. She described my brain. I'm like, wait a minute, that makes sense. And it just blew me away. We don't talk about these things in the way I think we should. We talk about, oh, he's got ADHD as a kid, or he's really hyperactive, or he seems really anxious. We describe it, but we don't ever give tools. We don't give anyone tools or ideas what to do when they have these diagnoses. So we don't talk enough about the tools, about how something, a small checklist, can be a lifeline, or how movement isn't just for health, it's for sanity, or about how medication isn't a failure, it's a flashlight in a foggy room. I always thought taking meds was a bad thing, meant I was broken. It doesn't. For some people, growth begins in therapy. For others, it begins with a breath, a notebook, a second chance. We love the myth of functioning adults. You know, I function. Not I'm succeeding, not that I'm thriving. I'm a functional adult. Waking up at 6 a.m., journaling, meal prepping, inbox zero. But that's not for everyone. Most of us can't sustain that if you have anxiety or ADHD. What's real is sitting in the car for 10 minutes because you can't go inside, because you're anxious or there's stress. Forgetting what you were saying halfway through saying it and looking at the person just hoping that it comes back. Replaying one awkward moment from 8 years ago like it's a podcast that you never unsubscribed for or from. Body doubling, a fancy term. That's what I call looking at myself in the mirror, or when I do this podcast, I rewatch it. Fancy term to sit with me while I do this hard thing. It turns out being seen makes it easier to exist. So when I watch this video back, when I watch any of my videos back, when I listen to myself afterwards, at first it was hard. It was hard to hear myself because I didn't like how I sounded. I didn't like what I was trying to say. But now I realize it's helping me understand my quirks, my nuances, the things that I'm doing, either good or bad, and how maybe I can tweak it or control it later on. ADHD, one of the things I have, isn't about not caring. I care about everything. Anxiety isn't about overreacting. I care about everything. They're about different operating systems trying to run modern software. I compare it to having a Windows computer or an Android phone and trying to put a Mac program on it or an iOS program on it. They don't work well together. They're very similar, but yet they don't like each other. You don't need a PhD, and trust me, I don't have one, to understand your mind. I don't understand mine, but I understand it enough. You need to be curious. I guess kind of like Ted Lasso. Be curious, not judgmental of yourself. You also need to be quiet. You need to allow the quiet. When you're learning about yourself, you need to learn how to ask better questions. Hey, doc, I don't understand this. Or, hey, person, I don't get this. Can you explain it better? I'm doing this. Is this quote unquote normal for someone like me? Or should I be worried? What am I doing differently? What can I do better? Listening to your body. If your body is just racked with guilt, anxiety, depression, and your ADHD is flaring, pause, breathe, take a break. Don't push yourself through something because like you feel like you have to, because if you don't, then you're going to feel guilty, and then the anxiety and ADHD are going to get worse. Recognize your inner critic sounds like someone else's voice. That voice inside my head, that's negative. That isn't my voice. I know whose voice it is. It's not mine. And I've realized that over the last 3 or 4 days. That inner voice, I know exactly who it is. And that's a battle that's going to be raging probably for a little while. And I don't know when I'm going to win it, but I'll win it. Picture yourself at a situation in public, or it's a friend's house, anywhere. You drop a cup. You break a glass. You start apologizing immensely. You start cleaning it up. You start beating yourself up. Oh my God, I can't believe I dropped a glass. I'm a horrible person. See, the goal of every day isn't to be perfect. The goal is you make a mistake, you forgive yourself, and you move on. You grow. After 20 minutes of beating yourself up about a glass or unreturned email or saying no to somebody and feeling bad about it, that's not normal for most people. But if you deal with ADHD, anxiety, or even guilt, it feels like you're spiraling out of control. But again, ADHD, anxiety, guilt, it's not about spiraling. It's about noticing when you do start to spiral and start giving yourself some grace. Say, okay, I'm having a hard time with this. What can I do to make it not so bad? What can I do to slow it down? What can I do to stop it? And what I normally do is say, hey, you're upset about this. Why? Okay, what can you do differently? What can change? What can make this better? What about this is so traumatic that you can't stop dealing with it? This video, any video online, won't give you any answer. It won't. There is no magic pill. There's no magic therapy session. There's nothing out there that will fix it. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I go to therapy. I see doctors, but I'm not one. If anyone online says you do this one thing and you'll be fixed, they're lying to you. But here's what you can do and what you can say. You are not broken. Now, you didn't hear me because of background noise. I'm going to say it again. I'll even say it slower, okay? I'll break it down Barney style. That's what we used to say in the military. You, yes, you, are, A-R-E, not the not, K-N-O-T, but N-O-T, not broken. You're not broken. Got it? Good. Anxiety and ADHD aren't moral failings. You're not a failure. They're part of biodiversity of the human mind, okay? Everyone's mind's a little different. Some people bloom fast, others in crooked, quiet ways, okay? So Some of us are perfect plants, grow straight, tall, flowers are beautiful. Some of us grow a little funky. And that's okay. The funky plants still are plants. Either way, you belong in the garden. You're not behind. You're on a different path. And it's okay to walk slowly. Sometimes it's okay to stop or pause, take a couple steps back, collect yourself, move forward again. That's the point of these videos I do. It's not about, oh, Richard's going to help me feel better, or Richard's going to fix my problems. None of this is about fixing your problems. It's about realizing that you're an original. You're a category mistake. Haley Brown is a category mistake. I know it's crazy. You know, one of my students is a category mistake, and that's okay. David Ingrassi, category mistake. Jeff Richley, category mistake. And while it sounds like a bad term, because it has the word mistake in it, another word for category mistake is you're original. There's only one of you. You do not fit the mold of TV and movies where it makes everyone look the same. You're special. You are not broken. You are exactly who you're meant to be. And some days, good days and bad, some days you're exactly who the person you're with needs. My wife and I have been married a long time, and sometimes I rub her the wrong way. But you know what? Other times happens. I feel the need that she needs perfectly, and I help her get through something she's struggling with because I am who I am. And I've always been ashamed of that. I've always been ashamed of being so different. I'm not ashamed anymore. Now, tomorrow I might be, but today I'm not. Today I realize that I'm not broken. I'm exactly who God's meant me to be, with medication, with therapy, with time, with some work. I am who I'm supposed to be. Yes, my brain is a little jumbled. Yes, I take medication to help it. My brain is still crooked. My plant is still a little weird looking, even with the medication. But that's who I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be normal, quote unquote normal, okay? I'm supposed to be me. I sometimes rub people the wrong way. I don't do it in hate. That's who I am. But I know that if I focus on who I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be, and why I'm supposed to be, I'm going to be the best me I can be. And having that anger towards myself, that inner voice that's telling me that you're an idiot, you're stupid, you're not worth it, that you should never have been born, that you should have just killed yourself, all of that, that's not who I am. I'm a dad. I'm a grandfather. I'm a teacher. I'm a follower of God. I'm a husband to an amazing, beautiful, spectacular woman. I'm a friend to more people than I probably give myself credit for. I'm a mentor, even though I don't know why. And I'm somebody people call when they need help. I can't fix everyone's problems. And fixing problems isn't about money. It's about time, effort, and using the two ears on my head and using my brain to show compassion, even when I don't get it. Because I don't always get it. But I try. And I'll continue to try. Thank you all for watching, for subscribing. Thank you for being alive. And thank you for not being broken. Thank you for being an original. Thank you for being a category mistake. Until next time.